Hey, this is Derek Jordan. Thank you for joining us today on the World Fusion Show, where we bring you the leading innovators in world fusion music. Today, we are doing part two with our guest, Steve Shehan, who is a multi-instrumentalist, composer, and one of my favorite living musicians. And he's joining us today, again, from his home outside of Paris. Welcome, Steve Shehan, to the World Fusion Show once again. right, we are back with Steve Shehan. And Steve, I wanted to ask you about a really unusual method that you chose to get around to these amazing, far-flung places on the planet to hear the music, collect instruments, to work with people, and that was you became a pilot, had your own plane, and you flew there to these places and, were able to really
Well, yeah,
your
I,
journey.
I didn't own a plane, but I worked for companies or small cargo companies with old planes, or non-governmental societies to bring some medications in Brazil, in the Amazonia, work in West Africa to bring photographs, to try new film roles for Kodak, for example, stuff like this. But it would give me the opportunity to use the plane to bring back instruments or carry around musicians, or so it was kind of a freedom thing too, and it was a challenge. It was wonderful to be able to fly in Africa, in Brazil, in the US. Flying in America was a dream. It helped me to again fall in love with this country by the power of the earth, the soil. America is wonderful. I'm so sad to see all these antagonism. It's happening on the whole planet now, but we're so lucky to be on this planet. So yeah, pilot as a whole, it was a big thing in my life. There's two things linked maybe to a previous life, but the DC-3 flying, being a pilot, and composing on piano. This is another part of my life, but the piano is something really important in my life. So as a pilot anyway, and listening to music when you do a night fly, like 6-7 hours flight in the night, of course you're still linked, radio and stuff, but you can listen to music. And this is fantastic. You're flying over oil stuff. You see the fires, and you're listening to music, and you still have 5 hours to fly. Kind of relax, really high. It's delicious. It's like a dream, a film, and it's books. And my life, as I said, no school a lot, but I've been reading a lot, and of course all those authors who wrote about adventures in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s, which were fantastic in terms of technology and flying and stuff like this. For me, I was living suddenly in a world that I really liked.
Yeah, no, it's true. And of course, being high above the earth, you get a different perspective
Of course.
on the whole
Oh yeah.
planet and all the little goings on down below.
Yeah, facing storms, hurricanes, cold fronts. Sometimes it was a little funky. I mean, I had a few little. It was not always easy, but it was great and
Well,
challenging.
you must have had some scary moments as
Yeah,
well in the
yeah,
plane.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Nearly crashed in Colorado. Very lucky to no one was harmed. And I managed to save the plane, but mostly the passengers. Actually, we were touring with Bruce Dunlap, and suddenly a huge thunderstorm, middle of the summer. So I had to do a quick landing on some place in a remote little field. And the next morning, we were really high, and we had to take off really early because of the density of air. And we finally took off a little late, half an hour difference. It makes a huge difference. So we need a longer strip
Yeah.
to take off, and we almost went over the cliff. We managed to stop the airplane, but they had a big hole in one of the wings.
Wow.
Logically, I should have called the FAA. I didn't. I used gaffer tape. It's probably prescription today, but I don't know how I did it. We gaffered with my friend, the pilot. Of course, the passengers, they went by themselves. We found a guy who drove them to Aspen, I think. And with my friend, with a co-pilot, we decided to fly the plane to Santa Fe to have it fixed. But totally illegally, hole in the wing, imagine.
Right.
But we managed.
Well,
Survived. Adventure.
it shows your ability to improvise as well. So
Oh, well, it's important, I think, in life. Yeah, it is.
that's great. Hey, we're going to go to some more music right now and
Okay.
and come back with lots more cool interview with Steve
With pleasure. With pleasure.
Shehan. Anyway, here we go. Steve Shehan. And Steve, I wanted to ask you about some of your travels. There's a really interesting trip you took to Bali. You flew there and you had a remarkable experience when you landed. Tell us about this experience.
Well, I'm still asking myself questions. I mean, sometimes I wonder, did I really live this? Yes, there's no fantasy. It's real. I went there. I don't really know why. I heard some gamelan music. I didn't understand, of course, what it was. It was really new to me, but I thought it was really interesting. How the weight sounds, the harmony, the control. And so I decided to go to Bali. It's kind of an urge. I had to go to Bali. The first time I went there, I got off the plane and without any exotics, I felt home. It's very strange. For the first time in my life, I felt normal, nothing fancy, or I just felt, oh, wow, it's strange. And at the airport, there was a bunch of guys dressed traditionally, and they took me, they said, we're waiting for you. We've been waiting for a while. You were in Bali before. This is your name. And actually, I still wear it, Sanjaya. And I'm like, no, I'm the wrong guy. You were waiting probably for someone else. No, it's you. We know it's you. Honestly, 2 hours later, I was in a little house, simple house in the hills with a grandfather learning stuff that I didn't even know I was able to play it. Totally dependent things with the gander and the saron. I mean, really traditional Balinese stuff. And the whole trip went like this. I mean, Bali, everything was just stunning, amazing, strange. People gave me instruments. I met people who make gongs or kendangs and drums, and they were happy to see me. It's a very strange feeling because I didn't fool anyone. I was questioning myself, but it was the way it was like this. And then it was the beginning of a plague that took place. Dengue was coming back, mosquito disease, and I got it. So the fever becomes really insane right away. You lose weight. Wow. Really like 10, 15 kilos in just 2 weeks. It was amazing. And you're bound to die. I mean, since I was traveling in small villages, and every village they were trying to help or cure or take care of me. It's very strange because there are pictures and the whole village is around me, shaking me in a hammock or having me drink strange stuff. And well, even some doctors too tried stuff and local little doctors. Nothing really worked. And then it was just getting worse and worse. But then I met, a sorcerer, and he proposed a deal. He said, "I'm going to do something with you, and it's a deal. You will die. I will make you die very quick, and you will decide if you want to stay dead." It's a strange thing, but that's the way it went. Or you come back. But if you come back, you have to make a vow. You have to decide of something that's important and in link with what's going on here. And honestly, even being sick and not even 20 years old, I mean, I thought to myself, if I have to die here, well, I'm blessed. Thank you, because I didn't know it existed. And it's okay, I accept it. It was that strong. But the guy does this with his fingers on my neck, and indeed, I leave my body. It's really fast, and I get back into the body. And he said, "Well, you're back. You have to make a vow." And the vow is everything I've did since Arrows, and because it was right before Arrows. All the work until today. I mean, it was with today internet, everything doesn't mean anything anymore. But if you remember those days, it meant really something else. To find something, you had to travel a lot, you have to search a lot, you had to be really curious and take time to understand and to learn. And I decided that I would do my best to make different cultures, music, people meet and merge, maybe to create something a little different, something new. Other composers have made this, Bartok or Stravinsky, or not that I'm not taking myself for this kind of genius, but I thought that we could do more, even in a jazz approach. And some guys have been doing a lot of good things, even from the pop rock. But I think And I thought I had my share. I could do something with it. So that was the vow, to dedicate myself to this. And okay. And it was a little complicated, but I was able to fly back to France. In those days, I just moved to France from Sweden. And as I think I told you once, the sorcerer gave me a kind of a seaweed bracelet, something that would help me to get back home. Some sacred stuff that really, you put it, it's humid, wet, and then you put it around your arm and it becomes really dry like a stone, and you can't take it off. It's really complicated. But the guy said, as soon as you get to Paris, put it in the water, put your arm in the water, take away the thing, and send it back to us. It's really important. Went back to Paris. Things happened. I didn't have any paper in France, so they caught me, the police and everything. It was really complicated. Being American in France is, it's not easy. And it wasn't easy at all. Still not, probably. But all this, and then music and work and try and blah, 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 blah. I forgot about the armband. It was on my arm. I just didn't think of it. Wow. Suddenly, like 2 months after, 1.5 months, two guys dressed traditionally come to my door in the middle of Paris. How did they get the address? I don't know. But they were at the door. They were not like nice and smiling and touristic, whatever. They were really like serious. We're coming. You forgot to send the bracelet, the armband back. He's dying. You got to do it now. Wow. And suddenly, like, everything came back. Of course, I forgot how to do it. It's just to tell you how powerful these things were and are. And it's deep, and yeah, everything went okay. I gave it back, and I was really so stupid. But it's powerful, and this place was really powerful to me. Yeah, I was lucky to go back and do a lot of things and recordings, but this first encounter with Bali really changed my life. And the mentality, the generosity, and the intelligence of their music, and the fact that they need to be together to play. No one does double, everyone does one, and it just links like this. It's really polyrhythmic, but in a human way. It's amazing. It's really stunning, and it still goes on. It's fragile. I went to Bali recently because I had to see those guys I met 40 years ago. I had to meet them again. Some went away, some are still there, they're aging, but the situation in Bali is really hard, very, very, very hard. So, that's the way it is. So, I don't know, maybe I'll try to do something else. I don't know. I always include Bali somehow in all my projects. There's always a Balinese little something, always.
That's right. It's so great. So I'd love to go to some more music right now, and maybe we could also go to something that shows some of your influence of Balinese music as well. All right.
porta di portuta di berra. Iblis jalbo anungso. Iblis manjalis. Medulis. Manungso sorok. Mung salah bunga-bunga. Mung benar denger-denger. Wes lali kali suno.
Hey, it's Derek Jordan, and thank you for joining us today on the World Fusion Show. It's been great to have you. Fantastic show that we had once again with Steve Shehan, and I'm just so grateful that he could join us. So thank you so much. I want to thank our wonderful sponsors, Mackenzie Family Charitable Trust, Chris Pratt, Nancy Feinberg, and Ron Dans, for their generous support. And as we always like to say on the show, remember, think globally, listen locally, and support independent music.